I'm a fifth generation painter, fourth generation union painter. My dad has been doing this since he was like 13. His grandfather owned a union paint shop in Lawrence. Did a bunch of the big buildings in Boston, so we always got the tours of I worked here when we went into the city. He came home one day and said, you can be a painter or a laborer. And at the time, laborers didn't have an apprenticeship, so I said, I'll be a laborer. And he just said no. And that was the last conversation we had about it, and I became a painter the next day. It was the best move I ever made. That was in 1997. I think he was just making it seem like I had an option. I went for my yearly physical, and I had been working on my health. I had started to lose weight, which was a rarity in my life. I just thought things were clicking and everything was working. And my doctor said to me, hey, you know, they just lowered the age of having a colonoscopy to 45. You're 46, you should think about it. And I just went, I don't know. And he's like, well, you know, there's another test. You can do a Cologuard test, at-home test, take it home, do it. He's like, just do me a favor and make sure you do it. So I did, and it came back with a positive, and nobody really seemed overly concerned. My doctor said, you know, I booked a colonoscopy for you. Let's get this done. Let's just rule everything out. Let's start here. Thought nothing of it. I went to have the colonoscopy. The doctor that did it asked me for my first time doing it. I said yes. He's like, listen, be asleep for about 20 minutes. I'm going to wake you up, tell you everything's great, and send you on your way. When he woke me up, he said, everything's not great. He's like, you have cancer. And I said, are you serious? And I started to laugh. I thought it was, it was just so surreal. I was waking up from anesthesia, like it didn't make sense. He said, listen, if I'm wrong, I'll be shocked. So I sat there with my oncology nurse one time, and she asked me my story. And this was right around Thanksgiving. And I told her the whole story, how it worked out. And she said, you know, you saved your own life, because if you had waited till you were 50, we'd be trying to get you through Christmas right now.
Had Tim not gotten screened when he did, another 4 or 5 years waiting to the original age of screening onset may have led to a more advanced, less treatable stage of disease. Asymptomatic patients, even without any known risk factors other than age, really need to know when and how to be screened, because it can be life-saving.
I credit my doctor with being on top of the guidelines. Everybody tells me I'm young to have this, you know, and I know what I look like. You know, I'm a little gray in the beard and definitely gray in the hair, and I don't feel young all the time, but they're always like, you're young, you're on the young side of having this.
We know that early onset colorectal cancer, or colorectal cancer is diagnosed prior to age 50. Those rates have been on the rise since the 1990s.
No symptoms, no family history, and there was no one that was more shocked than I was when he told me that. This was curable because of when I took action. And I don't take credit for taking action. I give credit to everybody else who encouraged me to take action.
There are certainly modeling studies that have shown that starting screening at age 40 can actually provide benefits. And those benefits could include fewer numbers of colorectal cancer cases, reduced numbers of colorectal cancer deaths, but there are some challenges as well. It may also be impractical with respect to the numbers of tests like colonoscopy that could be generated, because we just don't have sufficient capacity in the United States to really meet the demand. There are accessible, even home-based options like Cologuard. The risks of the screening are low, the accuracy of the tests is high, and there are solutions that can meet the preferences of really any screen-eligible patient.
You know, I just had a friend of mine come up to me the other day. He's like, hey, probably too much information, but I had one done because I had some stuff going on, and I had a colonoscopy done, and they removed some polyps, and they said, you know, if you had waited, it should be a different conversation. I gave him a big hug.